As soon as people arrive on your island, they expect pristine housing to be made available to them. Well, actually, they want a lot of other things on top of that. They also want unlimited free food, luxuries, education, healthcare, not to mention a safe and healthy environment. All of this in exchange for 24/7 work shifts with no days off from ages 12 to death. Yay, communism! Note, communism has failed every time it was attempted. Side effects may include breadlines, labor camps, human rights violations, and expansionist wars. The TeddyNinja channel does not support or condone the use of communism as a form of government in real life. But back to housing, I want to show you guys a system for setting up neighborhoods that will work and keep your people 100% happy, whether you have a tiny population or a population of over 1,000. I like setting up my residential zones as a block of 3x3 houses. Apparently building in a curve or on a diagonal is completely beyond the imagination of my settlers, so we are just embracing the grid. The city block is empty on the inside,
just like me,
and I use that space to hold a guardhouse for what I'm considering the central block of kind of a modular build of the neighborhood. This would be a watchtower in the early game, but once you get the upgrade to the guardhouse, as you see here, the radius is large enough to be able to hold city blocks on all sides of this central location. Around this, we build our services, and the church, inn, school, and market all fit very conveniently within the space of 4 houses. It's almost like the developers wanted this to be convenient. So we just clear out those houses from those blocks, lay those down on the city corners, and then fill out the entire housing block with houses around the outside. So we see here the market filling up the space of 4 houses, and then houses around the outside, roads placed separating them, and we have another city block. This gives us 4 more city blocks to fill in as we please, and I like to go with the full 9 houses onto 3 of the spaces. But then in the 4th, we are going to build a depot and a stone well. We need the depot because every single one of these houses is a destination that needs food, luxuries, and firewood to be delivered to it. So having a depot within easy access is going to make those trips to supply the houses with all the resources they need very quick. And then the well, particularly the stone well, which gives it a larger radius, and if you upgrade to deep well, you're going to do it better yet. It is going to improve the health of everybody living nearby, and it is also going to help suppress fires. So it will have a lower chance of fire breaking out in a house by a well, and then when a fire does break out, your villagers have to go to the well to be able to get water to then go return to the fire and work on putting it out. I think that playing Evil Genius 2 has kind of scarred me from Raging Infernos, so maybe I'm building more wells than I really need to, but I do like having it included right here. You can take this housing idea and then extend it as far as you want, using it like Lincoln logs or little Lego bricks, and just dot in the extra services building whenever their radius gets too far away from the new houses that you are developing, and you can just keep going and going to be able to support an absolutely enormous population. A couple final notes here. It is totally up to you how much road space you want to have in between your city blocks. You could go for just a single road width if you want things to look very narrow and be cramped in as efficiently as absolutely possible. I like to take the double road approach here, giving me a little bit wider avenues, and honestly, this is just purely aesthetic to be able to more easily see people walking throughout my city streets. I like having the double spacing. Another option is to go ultra wide with 3 spaces in between your roads, and it's actually, the game is going to naturally fill in the middle of those roads right next to each other with the same animated cobblestones. So that's really nice. Also, if it was just a normal straight path, the dirt road, it would also be filled in. But this gives you an option to be able to place the road signs at the intersections. This is going to give your citizens an extra 5% movement boost whenever they are within the radius. And it also gives you a space to place in some beautification options in between the roads. Now, the thing is that their happiness is never really going to get dipped down to the point where these beautification pieces are going to be needed or in any way useful, but they are pretty. They serve the purpose of the beautification. And so if you like the way that this looks as an aesthetic choice, then you can definitely do this as well. And I do really like the way that this looks. It also is not going to spread your services buildings out so far that they're not able to reach the population you want them. It's not like you're spacing things so far apart that it becomes inefficient to build in this way. I think this is a totally viable way to lay out a large city. You do also have the clothes shop, the healer's shop, and then I think the jewelry store or maybe the tailor shop that are going to provide bonuses to people living living around them. But once again, the happiness of your citizens living in the housing block without those included is still going to be up in the 90s. So it's not really necessary to keep your settlers at peak happiness. If you find a way to work them in, then more power to you, but it's not necessary. You can leave them along your clusters of industry if you want. Let me know in the comments how you have set up the residential districts within your city, and if there's any tips or tricks that I did not mention. Also, if there's another game system in Patron that you would like to see explained in a video guide like this, let me know. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.